Hello ladies and degenerates, look who's back after a long absence from YouTube. Yes, it's yours truly Kaishi, and I am back with another video, and what a video it is. But before moving on to that video, I want to take a moment and apologize to the 3 people who actually missed my videos, who also probably don't exist and are only a figment of my imagination. But as a wise man once said, real or not, a person is a person. So I am deeply, truly, very sorry for my absence. I was busy with some stuff and then I got really sick. But I'm fine now and I'm back with an awesome video. But before moving on to that video, I just want to take a moment and extend my sincere thanks to the one person who left a dislike on my last video. I mean, that's a big deal. It's the first dislike of this channel. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'm not being sarcastic. I appreciate your feedback. If you don't like a crappy video, you don't like a crappy video. And it was a crappy video, just like this one or the one before that. So also leave a comment on how to make these videos more and more better. Yes, more better, because when something is better, you just make it more better. That's grammar, people. You know what? I just got an idea. Leave a dislike on this video. Maybe if it gets enough dislikes, it might blow up and the channel might actually get some recognition and I might finally be able to pay some f***ing bills. Or I got a better idea. Why not leave a like on this video? Who knows, if it gets enough likes, it might blow up and the channel might actually get some recognition and I might finally be able to pay some f***ing bills. Also, when you're down there, consider subscribing and hit that notification bell if you want to see more awesome content like this one. Now moving on to the video. Top 10 one-on-one fights in movies. Let's set up some ground rules here, people. Okay, number 1, the fight has to be between 2 people. So no protagonist versus henchman fights. That's a video for another day. Number 2, it doesn't have to be a fist fight. It could be a sword fight or a gun fight or any fight, as long as it has 2 people duking it out. Number 3, there is no order to this list. I mean, the fights are so completely different and represent totally different things. I can't compare one to the other. They are literally incomparable. Number 4, watching this video further than this point without a like and a subscribe is totally unacceptable. So like the video and subscribe right now. Go on, I'll pause it. You did it? Good. First up, Wong Fei Hung vs Lo Hui, Drunken Master 2. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What better way to start this list than with a Jackie Chan fight? Now ask any Chan fan out there what his favorite Jackie Chan fight is, and they will most probably, definitely, maybe 100% tell you that it's this one. And rightly so. This fight encapsulates everything that makes Jackie Chan so great. Amazing choreography. Check. Badass stunts. Check. His specific brand of action comedy and at its fucking peak. Check and check. The fight starts off with Jackie facing off against 2 opponents. One of them he defeats easily. The other starts giving him a pretty hard time. But there is a rule in the world of Drunken Master that the drunker the protagonist gets, the stronger he becomes. So after drinking what can only be described as Satan's fermented testosterone, he proceeds to take his opponent's ass and magnificently hand it over to him. Next up, Neo vs Agent Smith, The Matrix. The Matrix did a lot of new things and it did a lot of them right. Seamless incorporation of CG and practical effects in a fight is one of them. This fight scene in particular, with all the bullet time effects and the shit breaking around them, truly feels like a fight between 2 superhumans. Because both Neo and Agent Smith are kind of like superhumans in the world of The Matrix. So eat your heart out, Batman v Superman, Dawn of whatever. Why did you say that name? You know, since we're already here, do you know the thing that I hate the most about Batman v Superman fight? The pacing. It's a fight between Batman, who is a very agile fighter, and Superman, who's literally faster than a f***ing bullet. Yet the fight moves at a snail's pace. Now compare this to the Matrix fight. Do you see the difference? That's why this fight looks so awesome, even after so many years, and it has achieved a legendary status in movie history.
Goodbye, Mr. Anderson. My name is Neo.
Moving on, Tang Lung vs. Cold, Way of the Dragon. I'm sure you've probably heard that a fight is like a dialogue, but with your fists. Granted, this fight is painfully slow-paced, the very thing that I spoke against moments ago. Martha! So why am I listing it as one of the greatest fights of all time? Well, because this is how real fights between martial artists are. If you've seen any MMA fights or any martial arts competition, you would know that it's not stylized, it's not fast-paced, but it is gritty and realistic. So how does that translate to screen? Well, by making it a dialogue. Allow me to explain. The two legends start off by staring at each other in the manliest way possible and then flexing at each other in the manliest way possible. Trust me, this is the manliest scene you will ever see. My testosterone went through the roof when I saw this scene. I saw it with my cat and now I have a tiger. I saw this with my sister and now I have a brother. That's how manly it is. And with that, I am all out of dated jokes, so we'll move on. They take their sweet time to prepare because they know that the other is a formidable opponent. When the fight starts, Bruce Lee is the first to make contact and is on the offensive, but Norris counters and lands the first hit. After that, he gives Lee a run for his money. So much so that he has to rely on an underhanded tactic of pulling his opponent's chest hair to get out of a hairy situation. Thank you, please. Don't get up. Now here, Norris is making a statement that he is a better fighter. Lee responds to that by switching completely to defense. He even changes his stance from a rigid and aggressive one to a more fluid one, which is also his signature style. First, he observes Norris's fighting style, as represented by the slow-mo sequence and the cat. Yep. The cat has a reason to be there too. Lee then proceeds to taunt Norris in an attempt to make him lose his cool, or in more professional words, to disrupt his rhythm. He then plays with him, just like the cat is playing. He starts finding some openings and weaknesses in his opponent's fighting style and lands a few hits. Eventually, the tables turn and Lee lands the finishing blow. This is what makes this fight epic. Observing your opponent's fighting style and finding their weak points. It's simple yet effective. And do you know where else you find this kind of strategy? In MMA fights and martial arts competitions. This fight is as realistic as it gets, and that is how you translate that realism to the screen. At the end of the fight, Lee is sad about killing such a great martial artist, which adds another layer to the whole situation. Honestly, there is so much going on that I can make a whole video talking about every move and every shot in this fight. Hey, that's a potential idea for a possible future video. So let's just leave it at that and move on to the next one. Next up we got McClane versus Karl. Die Hard. Die Hard is, without question, one of my favorite action movies. It has an incredibly well-written antagonist, something that I personally love so very, very much. But it also has an incredibly well-written protagonist, which is also something that I personally love so very, very much in a film. As much as I would love to talk about Hans Gruber, potential idea for a possible future video, I really need to focus on the topic at hand. Now, riddle me this, ladies and degenerates. How can you appreciate a protagonist who is, in a manner of figurative speech, an iron giant with no vulnerabilities whatsoever? On top of that, he is the prime example of honor and righteousness. Now, I'm not saying that that would be a bad protagonist, I'm saying that that would be a boring one. Because we, as flawed humans, cannot relate to such a character. We are very, very vulnerable, both physically and mentally. So when we see a character who, let's say, has a building fall on top of his head, but he shrugs it off like he just tripped over a fucking rock, we simply don't care. But when we see a character walk over broken glass and get hurt, we feel that shit. That is something that can potentially happen to any one of us. The other point I want to make is honor in fights. We see a lot of protagonists who fight honorably and consciously avoid any underhanded tactics. Now, I do appreciate that kind of a character, but we have a lot of those. McClane, on the other hand, is a complete psychopath with no honor. He just wants to win. Now, McClane has that same kind of vulnerability. And even though he has the righteousness, what he doesn't have is the honor of of the stereotypical protagonist. And on top of that, he is a fucking psychopath. And this fight showcases his character perfectly. It's a bloody, barbaric, balls to the walls, bare knuckle bar fight. It is also completely different from anything else in the video. It has no poise, no grace, no great choreography. It is dirty, and that's why I love it. Now, I'm not gonna break it down scene by scene. Just go watch it. It's a great fight, and Die Hard is a great film. And if you haven't seen it, what have you been doing for the past 3 decades? What is wrong with you? Next up, Julian versus Genu, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You must be familiar with the expression, the car is only as fast as its driver, or something like that. Well, this fight explores the same concept, just without the cars. Genu, who wields the Green Destiny sword, which is an incredible weapon, superior in every way, quite possibly forged in the fires of Mount Doom, faces off against Julian, who, as we will see in this fight, is a better swordsman, swordswoman. Swordsperson? No, that sounds dumb. Sword user. Yeah, I don't give a shit. She's a better fighter, and the fight makes it evident in the first few seconds. Genu, at the start of the fight, takes a high guard stance because she is confident in her weapon. Julian attacks, she brings down her sword, Julian feints, and goes for a neck like.
Ha! Gotcha.
You have got me, you have got me.
You can see from Genu's face that she knows she's outmatched. From that point on, Julian is almost always on the offensive, all throughout the fight. Since the Green Destiny sword is a superior weapon, her twin swords finally break, then she takes a spear, it's gone, then she goes through a couple of hook sword things, whatever that thing is that she can't even lift, and a baton, and Genu breaks all of them, except for that thing that she can't even lift. Julian then takes another sword which she knows is going to break, because the Green Destiny sword is a superior weapon, and she uses that superiority of her opponent's weapon against her opponent. Just as her sword breaks, she doesn't withdraw but places the broken blade on her opponent's neck. And boy, what an incredible fight scene. Gave me goosebumps. And that's it for today, folks. Part 2 will be uploaded in a few days, so subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. It's got a couple of really stylish fights and a couple of really bloody ones, so be sure to watch it. Maybe I should make a most violent fights video. Potential idea. Yeah, I'm not doing that again. Leave a like on this video and subscribe, which you probably already have done because that was the rule, and you followed the rule because you're a good person. And I know you're a good person because I'm a stalker and I stalk you. See you in part 2.
I think the girls with their nails done now.